am Anna, and welcome to today's message, Radical Selfless Love from Luke 6:32 through 36. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who are good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do that. And if you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners, expecting to be repaid in full. But love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Now, these verses teach us about being righteous and how being righteous requires being loving and showing mercy to all people, including your enemies, which is being Christ-like and showing the same mercy that God has shown you. Now, I don't know about you, but while I was taking a few days off for the recent holiday and reflecting on my platform, I thought about this a lot. Loving your enemies, being generous to those who I sometimes realize aren't generous to me. And that loving your enemies and being generous is really who I am as a human. Now, I questioned myself, I did, while mowing my lawn and gardening. I wondered, do I actually transcend ordinary human behavior? Do I really embody Christ-like love and compassion? Well, I try to, but sometimes I don't. I am human. But am I stuck in the rut of being a human? Well, no. No, I'm not. I try hard every day, and that's what matters. And it also challenges me to be better and challenges me to bypass the societal normal. I'm being called to the higher standard, which honestly has its own challenges when you are a human sinner. But there is some kind of radical wisdom and sense of awe and wonder that I'm left with when I read these verses. It's not just about what Jesus said with his words, but it is in the action. We are to rise above our human instinct and let go of the judgment and resentment toward those who wronged us, which is the highest form of compassion. Now, I can't say that I really have enemies anymore in my life, not intentionally anyway. I've let them go to be who they are. And in the past, my natural inclination would be an eye for an eye. We're taught that so many times in human life. But Christ has taught me to be a disciple. That means loving beyond my natural human inclination. And that includes those who can't love me back or choose not to accept my love. Letting the door close to those who can't find goodness without the expectations that they attach to it. And accepting those who are motivated by greed or gain, and understanding that being selfless is sometimes, for me, a lesson in love, even when it doesn't feel like it. Now, I've learned well that by being loving and merciful, I am promised a very special reward from God. And in alignment with my higher calling, I'm to reflect that character of God. And it means that my behavior is a direct reflection of God and His nature through me, which spiritually in my life means more than just the behavior on the outside, but being true to myself since Christ lives within. So I ask you today, have you ever been in a situation where someone has hurt you or wronged you somehow? And when it happened, did you hold a grudge? Well, I used to. But I have been invited by God to be different, to love and forgive. I will admit it's been very hard to do, even sometimes now. But I've been taught that with divine wisdom comes the discernment to know that God seeks order and justifies you in His time when it is warranted. And that is truly none of my business. I have many faults and shortcomings as a human, and I've had to choose to transform. And if you know my story up until this time in my life, well, you know that I've had a pretty rough go of things. My life's been filled with division, animosity, hatefulness, revenge in some instances, and even retaliation. I've been deeply hurt emotionally, psychologically, and physically, and many times by those that were closest to me. But my calling challenged me to break the cycle and choose unconditional love. And in fact, I created this very platform as I was healing. And I say as I was healing because I'm still choosing healing and extending mercy, sometimes when I would not have in my past. It is a stark contrast to who I once was. I now seek the transformation I have made by sharing it with others in hopes that they understand it's possible for them also. Because if God can do it for me, believe me, He can do it for you too. Today's message is this. Jesus calls us to love our enemies, to be merciful, and live a life that mirrors the character of God. That means honoring who you are, even the ugly parts, and considering what we can do to be love and merciful in our daily life. This means being graceful and loving unconditionally, and yes, even when it's very hard. Will you be perfect at it? Nope, you're not going to be. I am far from it. But every day I embrace the challenge, and I know that in doing so, I am reflecting God's love and contributing to the transformation of hearts of people I will never meet and to the healing of those who hear me speak. I am well over 100,000 people now at this time, in nearly a year after I began my journey. I'm good to my enemies, even when I know what they've done. I show them love beyond words. I demonstrate love in my actions. I show them love, mercy, and compassion extended to me by Christ. I even pray for them daily. And this very powerful act of love has broken the cycle in my life and allowed me to heal, which is a very truly peaceful place to be. Because choosing this way of life has given me endless rewards, abundant life, a peaceful heart, and true unconditional love for myself and others. This type of love brought more love toward me. And as you know, you reap what you sow, and nothing truer has ever been said. Love really is the answer. It is saving grace in a world that seems filled with the ugly human sometimes. People are peoply. But I promise and I attest to the love and mercy of Christ in my life. It has been nothing but pure joy. And my friends, why wouldn't you want that? In a world where you could be anything, choose to be loved. Love is the answer. If this resonated with you, please like and share my post. And thank you for the donations to my divine mission and for helping me to keep my messages alive. I'll see you next time.